Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about the fact that your manifestation is coming, that it is going to happen, and I'm going to explain to you why it's going to happen. So if you've been feeling like worried or anxious, or feeling like you're just so sick and tired of waiting for your manifestation to come into your life, then I feel like this is the video for you, because it's kind of about reassuring you that your manifestation is on its way and that it is going to come into your life. So I want you to think about the one thing that you want to manifest the most. The one thing that you want like so badly, that's I guess the most important thing to you that you want to manifest right now. What tends to happen when we want something so badly and it's not coming in, it can be extremely frustrating and you could feel maybe discouraged, or you maybe just feel like, why isn't it coming, or is it even coming? Sometimes you start to have doubts. But I want to reassure you that what you're manifesting is coming into your life. It's already been done and it's already on its way to you. And any frustrations that you might feel because you don't have it yet is actually a good sign that it is on its way to you. Sometimes when things are not going great, but they're not terrible, like when things are just average, you might be a lot more tempted to just stay stagnant and to not get out of that, to not break out of that, to not break out into this higher level of existence, this higher level of vibration. And the higher level of vibration is where you want to be. That's where the things that you want to manifest live and exist. So if you're just kind of in this like mediocre or average or normal existence and it's not that bad, then you might be tempted to just stay there. It's not gonna like light that fire under you to like break out of that and to make it to the next level. And you might just convince yourself that it's okay to just kind of stay the same and stay stagnant. A really good example of this is when you're in a relationship and maybe it's like a little bit toxic, or maybe it's just not that great. It's not like what you would envision for yourself, what you like want out of life. But you're like, well, it's not that bad. Or it is really toxic, but for some reason you're like, well, this is fine, because maybe you don't think that you deserve better, or maybe you don't think that like better relationships exist out there, or maybe you think, oh, this is just how relationships are, depending on whatever limiting belief systems that you've built up and created over the years. So if nothing like terrible were to happen, you might be tempted to just kind of stay in that relationship and basically not feel fully satisfied or not feel like truly happy. But if something bad were to happen, maybe someone like cheats on you, or maybe they do something that like really pisses you off and causes you to feel really frustrated and really like upset about the relationship, about the situation, then that might prompt you to actually leave the relationship and to break out of this sort of reality. And really that wouldn't happen unless you were frustrated enough because you maybe want to be in like a happy, loving relationship. And when these things happen, when these like bad things happen that causes you to feel frustrated and just unhappy with your current relationship, then that's what's going to motivate and inspire you to actually break out of that. And in doing so, it might feel like, you know, your life is falling apart, but what's actually happening is your old life has to fall apart and crumble in order for your new life to be able to come in. There's this great saying that the price of your dream life, or the cost of your dream life, is your current one. And it's really about how your life has to fall apart sometimes, or how things have to completely break down sometimes, in order for you to get to the thing that's better, in order for better new things to come in. And we talk a lot about detaching and letting go. So it's very similar in that sense. Sometimes when you want something so badly and it's not coming, and you just get so upset and frustrated that you decide to just give up and you're like, I don't want it anymore, then that's exactly when you're gonna get what you want. And it doesn't have to be like relationships necessarily. Sometimes maybe you want a new career or something like that, and you're like waiting for it to happen. You're like doing all the things and you're like getting frustrated and upset and anxious because it's not happening. And then all that frustration and negativity, what's gonna happen is it's gonna cause you to basically just give up. And when in giving up, you're not necessarily like giving up on what you want, like you still want it, but you might give up on the idea that this is all you deserve. Or you might give up on the idea that this is where you're meant to be, because you're gonna realize that actually I am better than this. Actually, I do deserve more than this. Actually, I am capable of getting what I want. And you're gonna give up on all the old ideas and all the old belief systems and all of the old limiting like, self-identity that you've created, all these narratives that you've built up. You're gonna give up on that and you're gonna let go and detach from those stories. And what you're gonna do is you're going to adopt new and better belief systems and self-identities that's gonna again help you break out of your current reality and help you get to that higher level of consciousness, that higher level of vibration where the things that you want exist. And what you're doing is you're aligning yourself with it. So a lot of the times failure and rejection and frustration, all of those things, it's a redirection. It's letting you know that this is not where you're meant to be. And sometimes deep down we know, we're like, deep down we do know that we're meant for something else, we're meant for something better. But sometimes it's hard to like ignore the current 3D reality. So sometimes when things are not going your way, it's really just a redirection. It's like the universe trying to put you back on the right path. And a lot of the times we will consult like tarot readings or psychics or whoever, like life coaches, to be like, am I on the right path? Like, I don't know, I'm confused. But deep down we do always kind of know. And you can always think about your intuition and how you're feeling, and that is how you know if you're on the right track or not. So, and it's not always about results either. Sometimes you're doing something and it feels good and it feels right, but the results aren't that great. So for example, sometimes social workers, they're like so happy in their career, they're so happy doing what they're doing and they love what they do, and every day it makes them feel like fulfilled because they're helping people and that just feels so right to them. But the results aren't great because in social work actually there's a lot of disappointment. Like things, you know, you try to help people but it doesn't always work out, and the pay is awful also. So a lot of the times, even though the results just aren't good, the results are maybe even bad, but if deep down it feels right, it feels good, then that is what you're meant to be doing. You are on the right track. And on the other hand, sometimes you're doing something and maybe the results are excellent. You're making all this money and you're seeing all this progress, all these results, and you're like, wow, like this is amazing. But you hate the job or you hate the work you're doing. You don't believe in it. And deep down it just feels like this isn't it. This is not what you're meant to be doing. Then you know that you're not on the right track. Even if the results are good, it's not about the results, it's about your intuition and your feeling. And because deep down you know what you're meant to be doing, and you maybe if you don't know what you're meant to be doing, you know if you're on the right track or not because of your gut feelings, because of your intuition. And when we ignore that is when we can end up in a place where we're like not sure how we got there, or we end up in a place where we feel like we have all of the things that society and our parents and our friends want us to have, but we just feel empty inside and we're not sure why. And this is when people have midlife crisis where they're like, what have I done with my life? Like, what am I gonna do? And they start acting out when they're having their midlife crisis. So if you want to avoid that, then you have to start trusting your intuition and your feelings, because deep down you always know. Okay, that's it for today's video. I hope that it reached you at a time that was impactful, and I hope that you found value in this. Let me know what you want to see next, and I'll see you next time. Bye!